That's on the phone number ending in 4928.
Yeah. I tried to get on Zoom, but
What is your name?
Donald Nadeau.
Mr. Nadeau, you have to either appear with video or you have to appear in person, sir.
Excuse me?
You have to appear with video or you have to appear in person.
Okay. The Zoom isn't working. It keeps saying waiting.
Well, okay, then you have to appear in person, sir.
But I can't. There's no way I can get down there in time. I talked to my lawyer, and we talked about getting on Zoom, and the Zoom says unable to connect.
Okay, sir, you need to call your lawyer. This is Judge Simmons speaking. You call your lawyer and you work out your technical issue, or you can appear in person, but we don't conduct court proceedings without visual connection. Do you understand that?
Yeah. My lawyer, I tried calling him about 2 or 3 times, and it's going straight to voicemail. I try him again, but it'll take me a while to get down there. I don't even have transportation. I didn't even know how to get on Zoom. Somebody was helping me get on Zoom.
Okay.
And then it wouldn't
connect. We provided Zoom instructions to you. And part of the reason why we can't conduct meaningful Zoom proceedings without videos because you can't see when I'm talking, and so you'll talk over me, which is what we've been having today. So you call your attorney. I don't know why. Who is your attorney actually?
Riley.
Who?
What? Riley? Where's the paperwork? Oh boy. That's
Jacob Rowley, Judge. He's here in the courtroom. He's standing right here.
Okay, your attorney is in the courtroom. He's going to contact you and see if you guys can work through navigating the Zoom, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Javon Shaw, file number 22-01243, counsel appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Javon Shaw.
Okay, today was the date and time that was set for a pretrial on an indecent exposure and disorderly disturbing the peace. How are we proceeding on these?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I should say both Mr. Lee and I entered into today with the understanding that we were still waiting on competency for Mr. Shaw. However, it seems that matter in 55th has resolved. And so with that, we feel we can move forward with these cases. There has been an offer extended of pleading to, I believe it was the retail fraud on case 22-02100 SM with restitution and then a dismissal of the indecent exposure and disorderly person. However, based on the fact that we entered into today thinking we were still going to have to address competency, that offer would need to be, run by and coordinated with the complaining witness on the indecent exposure disturbing the peace. So I guess at this time, Your Honor, we would ask that this matter be set for a plea just to resolve those issues, which I don't foresee any issues with that, Your Honor, but we'd ask that these matters be.
You said it needs to be run by who?
Yes, I would need to consult with the complaining witness on the indecent exposure and disturbing the peace charge, Your Honor.
Okay.
To make sure that offer was acceptable. However, I don't foresee any complications.
Right.
So I believe
those aren't necessarily victims in these particular cases. So an indecent exposure doesn't have a victim. Neither does the disorderly disturbing the peace.
And I believe if that's fine, then we are ready to proceed with a plea at this time, I believe, Your Honor.
Okay, did somebody send me information to conduct a plea. And he's just gonna plead to the retail fraud?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Bigelow?
Yes, ma'am. I'm waiting for Mr. Brodowitz to generate the plea sheet for me to send to you.
I don't necessarily need a plea sheet, but I can't do a plea without the things that from the file that I need for the retail fraud. What are we doing on Montalvo?
Ms. Montalvo has declined the sobriety court offer, Your Honor, and is ready to proceed to, well, we were thinking a final pretrial, but if the court doesn't set final pretrials, then perhaps one more pretrial to see if we can work out a plea with the prosecutor. Again, this is a situation where we came into the day thinking that the sobriety court was the answer, but Ms. Montalvo does not want to pursue that avenue, so we need to find a different answer. And so maybe one more pretrial hearing before we set up for a trial to see if we can work out a plea.
Mr. Brodowitz, is your office considering another offer?
Yes, Your Honor, we will be relooking at this case and extending another offer. As Mr. Lee stated, we both entered today thinking sobriety court was the way we were proceeding, and we were informed today that Ms. Montalvo no longer wishes to proceed that way.
Okay, we'll set it for another trial. We'll set it for a pre-trial, but it will be the final pre-trial that I'm setting on.
October 2nd at 10:30.
Ms. Montalvo's in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who's on the iPhone?
Lindsay Buffington.
Can you start your video, please?
I don't know how to figure. Sorry. Okay. I think I got it. Okay.
Okay, who's representing her?
John Lee, Your Honor.
My goodness, what is going on?
Are you ready to proceed on her matter?
Yeah, you're ready to proceed.
I'm ready to proceed on Mr. Shaw. I would need a quick minute with Ms. Buffington, Your Honor.
I can't proceed on Mr. Shaw until I get the file. So we can put you in a private meeting room with Ms. Buffington. Oh, it looks like I just got the file. Hold on. Okay, sounds good. Back on the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Javon Anthony Shaw. And so the offer was for Mr. Shaw to plead guilty in file number 22-02100, which is a retail fraud, and then in exchange for a plea that the charges in file number 22-01243 will be dismissed. That's complete and accurate.
Yes, Your Honor. We also had a Killebrew agreement for fines and costs only, given the fact that Mr. Shaw is also is already on probation in 55th District Court.
Okay, this is a retail fraud second offense,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, Your
Okay, and he's pleading as charged.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Shaw, do you want to accept the offer?
Yes.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Mr. Shaw, in this matter, which is a retail fraud second degree, second or subsequent offense notice, making it a misdemeanor with the maximum penalty of 1 year and or $2,000 in fines, or 3 times the value or difference in the price of the property stolen, obtained, or attempted to be obtained. You have the right to proceed to a trial, and you have the right to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge of retail fraud second degree beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand your rights so far?
Yes.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses that the prosecution intends to call against you at trial. You have the right to call your own witnesses to a trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Are you willing to waive each of those rights that I just listed in order to accept the offer and plead guilty to the retail fraud second degree, second or subsequent offense notice?
Yes.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights and enter a guilty plea?
No.
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for a guilty plea?
No.
Okay, and you're on probation, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, when were you placed on probation?
Well, they're supposed to call me on the 26th, my probation officer.
Okay, so you were recently placed on probation?
Yes.
For how long?
A year.
Okay, so this matter allegedly occurred on June of 2022, so that wouldn't be a situation where you would potentially get a violation of your probation. However, a conviction of this kind could have impact on any travel or immigration status that you may be seeking. So do you still want to plead guilty, understanding that?
Yes.
This also could be a conviction that you need to report to your employer, or you may need to place this conviction on a future job application. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a Killebrew agreement. That's an agreement about how you're going to be sentenced. I'm not a party to that agreement. I didn't say I was not going to sentence you to jail time. I didn't say I was not going to sentence you to probation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so if I decide at the time of sentencing that I am going to sentence you to a term of probation or jail time, I advise you of that, and then you'd be given the right to withdraw your plea at that time, okay?
Okay.
Okay. As to the retail fraud second degree, second offense, or subsequent offense notice, how do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
And you're pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Okay, can I have a factual basis, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Shaw, on June 2nd, 2022, were you at the Meyer store located at 6200 South Pennsylvania Avenue?
Yes.
And that's in the city of Lansing, the county of Ingham, in the state of Michigan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, did you attempt to leave the store with goods in excess, in value in excess of $100?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the people?
Just briefly, Aaron, when you left the store with those items, had you made any payment for those items?
No.
And was it your intention to take those items without paying for them?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
court is satisfied with the factual basis, I'll accept your plea and find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Let's see. You said there was restitution, or was the items recovered? Counsel.
So I believe based on what is listed in the report, Your Honor, I believe one of the items was recovered. However, the majority of the items were food items that, while they were recovered, were not able to be resold. And so I believe there is a restitution amount in here of $78.76.
$78.78.
76 cents, Your Honor.
76 cents.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you can make your allocution, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Shaw has accepted responsibility for his actions on that day, just as he did at 55th District Court. He has expressed an interest to put these matters behind him, as it is not reflective of his general personality and status. Your Honor, he is on probation under court supervision for the next year. He intends to complete his probation successfully and participate fully, and is accepting responsibility here and is willing to pay the restitution. Therefore, Your Honor, we're asking that you honor the kill of the agreement and sentence him to fines and costs and allow him to begin rebuilding.
Okay, Mr. Shaw, are you employed?
No,
Okay, and were you employed at the time of this incident?
no.
Okay, because I'm reviewing the affidavit of probable cause, and looks like the majority of it is you were taking food items and eating them in the store. Is that accurate, sir?
I don't really all the way remember, but
Okay, you don't remember taking the food items?
yeah,
Yeah, you remember, or no, you don't remember?
I do.
You do remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember why you took them?
No.
Okay, and do you remember what you did with them? Were you under the influence of anything at the time, sir? Or you just don't remember?
I just don't remember.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna order a restitution in the amount of $78.76. Plus $75 crime victim rights fee and a $50 state minimum cost. And you can make payments on that, sir. So when can you make your first payment?
I'm still waiting for my SSI to get finalized.
Okay, I'll note here, you'll make a payment of $10 a month. You'll make your first payment in 30 days, okay?
Okay.
Okay, once your restitution is paid, I can review the file and I'll waive the fines and costs, but you gotta pay the restitution, okay?
Okay.
All right, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're all set, Mr. Shaw.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I have two people on from the jail. I have Angelo Garza. Are you ready on Mr. Garza?
Yes, we'll proceed.
Okay. Counsel, I couldn't hear you because Mr. Garza spoke instead of you.
I'm sorry. Yes, we're prepared to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. On the record, in the matters of the people of the state of Michigan versus Angelo Garza, file number 23-02490, 23-02545, 23-01174, and 23-02490. Council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Angelo Garza.
Okay, Mr. Garza, I have 4 files. Well, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 files, but one of them has a PA 53. 2 of them are set for PA 53 contempts. 2 are set for a pre-trial. I have a breaking and entering without the owner's consent. And then I have a stolen property. One of them is a fleeing with a vehicle that's set for a contempt hearing, and then a breaking and entering without owner consent, which was the pre-trial, is also set for a bond violation. Counsel, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, addressing the 2 misdemeanor files that are set for pretrial, I believe we have reached a plea in this matter, and I will have a plea sheet sent over to you, and that would be for Mr. Garza to plea on file 23-02545 SM, which is the receiving and concealing 200 to 1,000, and with restitution. And the people would then dismiss the breaking and entering file, which is file 23-02490 SM. Last time, I believe we were here, this was reset to address restitution in the matter. The people have not received any restitution amount on the breaking and entering file, so the restitution would simply be on the receiving and concealing, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. I'll go off the record so that those documents can be sent to me. I also need to see what's going on with the contempt. I need the PA 53 contempt. And then in the interim, Mr. Lee, you can meet with Ms. Buffington. Who's on the Motorola Moto G stylus? Need to unmute. Need to unmute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's your name?
My name is Guillermo Vidal Torres, 3572.
Okay, sounds good. And then I see Matthew Fox.
You can't see me?
I can see you, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I represent Mr. Fox, Your Honor. He will be ready to proceed as soon as I come back talking to Ms. Buffington.
If you're ready to proceed, I can take those now while they're here. Also, I see a Danielle Garreau. Who's representing?
We've been in contact with Ms. Juro. She was having technical difficulties logging on to Zoom. I don't see her yet, but my
She's here. She's here.
Yeah, I'd like to talk with her too, please.
He appears to be driving. Oh, you're logging into court, breaking the law and driving? I don't know why people do that. Remove her from the virtual courtroom. You can call her and she can log back in when it's safe to do so. You're ready to go on, which one? Was it Fox or was it Mr. Torres?
Matthew Fox, Your Honor.
Okay.
Matthew Fox, yes.
Okay, and you need to meet with Mr. Torres as well?
I don't represent Mr. Torres, but I am ready to proceed on Mr. Lopez.
Sounds good. On the record in the matter? You said Mr. Lopez.
Juan Lopez Jr.
I don't
Right
see
now,
him.
we can do Matthew Fox.
Is Mr. Lopez in the courtroom? Oh, there he is.
In jail,
He's in jail. Thank you. On the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Juan Jose Lopez Jr. File number is 23-00921. Appearance, please.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Juan Lopez Jr.
Okay, today's the date and the time that's set for a pretrial and a retail fraud. How are we proceeding on this?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, I believe we have reached a resolution in this matter. The people made an offer for Mr. Lopez to plead to an added count 2 of retail fraud 3rd degree with an agreement for restitution. And with that, I believe Mr. Lopez will be accepting that offer at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's good. Well, we gotta go off the record so I can get the stuff for that. And then we'll take care of that as well as Garza and Buffington. And you said that you need to speak to Fox.
No, we're good with Fox. I just need to talk to Buffington.
Okay, let's do Fox on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Matthew James Fox. File number is 23-01065, council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Matthew Fox.
Okay, Mr. Fox, today was the date that was set for pretrial on a dog bite, dog vaccination, and another dog license vaccination. Council, how are we resolving these?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, I have been provided compliance on the 2 dog license violations. So the people would seek to dismiss those 2 charges for compliance. The people have, I have attempted to reach out to the complaining victim in this matter. However, I was not able to make contact with her. After talking with Mr. Lee, I believe it is the parties would agree to ask that this be set for a final pretrial on the dog bite. That is simply due to the fact, Your Honor, that the victim in this matter, I believe, is currently on bench warrant status as the defendant in another matter before Your Honor. And so I have not had any contact with the victim, we would ask that this be set for a final pretrial on the dog bite, Your Honor.
Final pretrial, October 30th at 8.
Final pretrial will be October 30th at 8 o'clock in the morning. Any questions for the court today, Mr. Fox?
Is that going to be a Zoom meeting, or do I need to appear in person?
You need to appear in person at the court.
For October?
Yes.
Okay.
No question.
Thank you, ma'am.
No problem. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, sir. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you.
Well, who's on the Motorola One 5G Ace?
Paul Beard.
What's your name, sir?
Paul Beard.
I don't see him on my docket. Mr. Raleigh, did you need to meet with someone?
Yes, Mr. Torres, Your Honor, if I could.
Do we know who this gentleman is? I don't see him on my docket.
What's his name?
Say your name again, sir.
Paul Beard, B-E-A-R-D.
Yeah, he needs to go. He's supposed to be in Judge Ward's courtroom.
Okay, you're in the wrong virtual courtroom, sir. You need to be in Judge Ward's courtroom, okay?
This is the number they gave me.
Okay, well, we'll give you a new number and then you log into that one, okay?
Okay.
It is 934
934
285
285
9288.
9288. Can I read that back to you real quick? Make sure I got it.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. 934-285-9288.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So are we just waiting for information for the pleas, and then Mr. Lee needs to meet with Buffington, and we need Ms. Gerald to not drive in court? Is that what we're waiting for?
Yes, for the things for the pleas.
Okay.
These.
Is anyone else in the courtroom waiting or ready to go?
Angel Sutter is here with Dan Doyle.
She just stepped out.
Okay, apparently she just went to the bathroom.
Okay, sounds. Who's on the phone number ending in 4928?
Yeah. I'm on the bus coming down there. We
Okay,
couldn't get on Zoom, so I'm on the bus now.
Okay, we'll see you when you get there.
I didn't hear you.
I will see you when you arrive.
Okay.
Thank you.
What? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna log on Zoom.
Your defendant that requires a interpreter.
Okay. Mr. Giroux, or rather Danielle Giroux, is on her way here. She was driving. She's just gonna come first.
The restitution for Sean was 78.
Yes, 7876. This is everything. Just a second.
Did you get the restitution form for Shaw, or is that for Garden? Or which one? They needed the restitution sheet for Shaw too.
Did one.
Okay. I just slid it to you. Yeah, that was amazing. Which complaint did I give you? Which complaint did I give you for version? I know. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
We're ready to go on tour. So.
Dean's call. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, Ron.
Raleigh,
You're done.
are you ready on your matter?
Yes, Mr. Torres is ready to go on the record.
Can you speak a little louder?
Yes, Torres, Guillermo Torres, we're ready to go on the record. Yeah, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me get him out of the breakout room. Okay. On the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Guillermo Torres, file number is 23-02637, council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Jacob Raleigh on behalf of Mr. Torres, who is appearing remotely via Zoom.
Today was the date set for a pre-trial on a breaking and entering without owner's consent. How are we proceeding on this?
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, the people have extended an offer for Mr. Torres to plead to an added count 2 of trespass with an agreement, I guess, that he do some form of alcohol counseling or something to that effect. However, after my conversations with Mr. Raleigh, I believe you'll ask this matter be set for a final pretrial. But I would leave that to him to make that motion.
Mr. Raleigh.
That is correct, Your Honor. At this time, I would request a final pretrial.
Okay. We'll set it for final pretrial. The offer will remain open until that date.
October 30th at 8 a.m.
Do you have any questions today, Mr. Torres?
Ma'am, Your Honor, I'm sorry, November, you say November 30th?
October 30th.
Oh, October, I'm sorry.
Yep, at 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's in person at the court, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Do you have any questions?
No, and thank you, sir, for helping me out.
Okay, any additional matters for the record today, council?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, Mr. Torres.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Mr. Raleigh, I think your other client logged back in and said he was on the bus on his way here.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Check these out.
Mr. Doyle's client.
She's not made it back to the courtroom.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Don't know where she went.
forward to that. What's that?
Are you ready on Mr. Lee's cases?
Your case is all.
Yes, we are ready, Your Honor.
Oops.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, back on the record in the matters of the people of the state of Michigan versus Angelo Garza. My understanding is that the offer was that he is going to plead as charged in file number 23-02545, and that in exchange, the people will dismiss the charges in file 23-02490. And the defendant agrees to pay restitution in the amount of $49, I believe it says, and 98 cents to TJ Maxx. Is that accurate?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Garza, did you want to accept that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Mr. Garza, you have the right in this matter to proceed to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty, and you have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at the jury trial by proving each element of the charge of stolen property, receiving and concealing beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses in court that the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. You have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. Are you willing to give up each of those rights today in order to enter a guilty plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Anybody making any promises to you to get you to want to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has there been any threats made to you to make you want to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your current employer, or you may need to report this conviction on a future job application.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand that this is a conviction that could have an impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. As to receiving and concealing $200 to $1,000, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a factual basis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Garza, on or about August 14th, 2023, were you at 213 North Magnolia Avenue?
Yes, sir.
And that's in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, you encountered police officers from the Lansing Police Department, correct?
Yes, sir.
And those police officers found you in possession of property from TJ Maxx, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that property had not been paid for and was in fact stolen, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you knew that property was stolen, right?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from you, Mr. Brodowitz?
Just briefly, Your Honor, the property that you were in possession of, Mr. Garza, did that have the property in question, did that have a value of more than $200?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. I know it's shoes.
Mr. Garza, would you have reason to dispute the value was more than $200?
No, sir.
Thank you.
People are satisfied with that factual basis, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea, find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. I don't know what's going on with the other file. Let's see here. Okay, the PA 53, is that connected to a new pending case?
No, Your Honor, the PA, if you're referring to the PA 53 on case 23-01174 FT, that was due to a case that has already been, Mr. Garza has already entered a guilty plea to an amended count 2 in that. I believe in this case, Your Honor, that this was sort of a cascade of events where Mr. Lee or Mr. Garza, sorry, was on bond for one issue and then picked up another issue and then picked up another issue after that. According to my notes, in that specific file, the 23-01174 FT, Mr. Garza has already pled to an amended count 2, or it might be an added count 2 of fleeing and eluding 4th degree, which is a 1-year misdemeanor. And the original count 1 was along with the habitual, and that one was dismissed. Based on that and the fact that Mr. Garza has entered a plea here today, the people would recommend not proceeding on the PA 53s, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. I do have a concern. I'm looking at the PA 53 actually in this file, or the report that is attached. And this would be the basis of the case that he just entered a plea on, is that correct? August 14th, 2023.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand how we establish the value of the property then, because this is problematic. More $200 or more, but this report clearly states it was less than $200. Did I miss something? Says it was a pair of sweatpants for $39.99 and a shirt for $9.99. And when I review the restitution form, that's less as well. Did I miss something?
Well, Mr. Weasley, I do not believe so, Your Honor, as I reviewed the file earlier this week. I'm not sure if my office charged it based on, I know there were, I believe, 2 stores there, although one store I believe was from Eaton County.
Walmart.
Yeah.
And TJ Maxx and other items from Walmart.
Yeah. 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 With that, Your Honor, and just speaking with Mr. Lee briefly here, I guess we can amend the plea in this matter to, it would be, I guess, an added count 2 of receiving, concealing stolen property, $200 or less.
Okay, well, I first now need a motion to withdraw his plea that was already entered on the record.
Your Honor, defense makes a motion to withdraw the plea that was entered on the record for stolen property, $200 or more, with the understanding that there will be an amended charge of receiving and concealing stolen property, $200 or less.
Okay, I'm going to grant the motion because upon review of the narrative from the police report, it doesn't appear that the item stolen would support a factual basis for receiving, concealing 200 to 1,000. So I'll grant your motion, and then the charge is going to be amended again to what?
It would be receiving, concealing $200 or less, Your Honor.
Okay, and maximum penalty on that?
Okay. Penalty on that, Your Honor, is 93 days and or $500.
Okay. Mr. Garza, do you understand what just happened?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the people are now adding an additional count of receiving and concealing $200 or less in exchange for the original charge of more than $200 to $1,000. So the penalty is less. Your rights that I previously went over with you would still apply. Did you want to move forward with your plea with the amended count as stated on the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and is anybody forcing you or threatening you to enter that guilty plea?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, and so the factual basis already having been established, I'll accept your plea to the added count 2, and I find it to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. You can make your allocution, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we would ask the court to consider that Mr. Garza has cooperated fully in all of these matters, accepting pleas and accepting the pending consequences. He is supported here in the courtroom today by his fiancée. He has a family in the area with a strong support structure and intends to re-engage fully as an active citizen in society once released. We ask the court to consider a credit for time served, as Mr. Garza has been in for approximately 30 days. And as I said before, is serving a sentence on the fleeing and eluding already. Please, the court, we appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. I credit him time served. However, there will be restitution ordered as stated in the plea for the amount of $49.98 owed to TJ Maxx. I'm assuming that stuff was not recovered by TJ Maxx, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and so you'll make payment on that. There's credit time served. When are you going to make payment from the restitution?
Starting on the 1st. Your Honor, is that okay?
How much you going to pay on the 1st?
At least half of, at least $25, maybe all of it.
Okay, I'll note that you'll make a payment of $25 on the 1st, and then you'll make the payment on the balance within 30 days, okay?
I make to the courts on the 6th floor?
Correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Just briefly, Your Honor, and I'm not sure, I may be mistaken here, but at least the last note I have, just based on Mr. Lee's statements, I wanted to double check. The last note I have is that Mr. Garza is still awaiting sentencing on the fleeing and eluding charge, as it appears he failed to appear on August 10th for the sentencing that was set.
Was that sentencing reset?
I don't see a reset date, Your Honor.
October 13th at 8:30.
Sounds good. The PA 53s are dismissed, and he'll have his sentencing on the fleeing and eluding on the date it's set for. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're all set, Mr. Garza.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
That would be the 13th on the 6th floor, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lindsay Buffington, file number is 20-03146. Appearance for the record.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Lindsay Buffington.
Okay, today was the date that was set for a pre-trial. I have 2 counts of assault and battery. How are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the people did extend an offer pending victim consultation for Ms. Buffington to plea to 1 count of assault and battery and dismiss the other count of assault and battery with no objection to HYTA status if eligible. In my conversations with Mr. Lee, I believe she is going to accept that offer, and I am filling out the plea sheet now, Your Honor.
Where's Ms. Buffington?
Right here, sorry.
Okay, well, I need to get that plea sheet and some information from the file, so we'll go off the record on that one. Let's see. Mr. Lopez. Are we ready on Mr. Lopez?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is it a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, then we're not ready until I get the file. Let's see.
Judge, I sent it to you.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Juan Jose Lopez, and this is in file number 23-00921. And so the offer that we have here, Mr. Lopez, is for you to plead guilty to an added count 2 of retail fraud in the 3rd degree, and that in exchange, the people will dismiss count 1. If you can discuss that offer with your attorney. He's muted.
We have discussed that offer, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez is prepared to plead guilty today.
Right, I'm asking him though. I need him to be unmuted so I can get his understanding. Could somebody unmute him or call the jail? I don't know why he's muted. Can you say something?
Hello?
Okay, Mr. Lopez, did you hear the offer that I read?
Yes.
Okay, and if you discussed this offer with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to accept that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Lopez, in this matter, you have the right to proceed to trial. You have the right to a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the presumption of innocence. So you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you want to waive those rights so that you can enter a guilty plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses that the prosecution intends to call against you at trial, and you have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to make you want to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Has there been any promises made to you if you enter a guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that may have impact on any travel or immigration status you may be seeking?
Yes, ma'am.
You also understand that a guilty plea can result in the conviction that you may need to report to your current employer or put a conviction on a future job application.
Yes, ma'am.
As to the added count 2 of retail fraud in the 3rd degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a factual basis, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez. On or about January 19th. Hear me, sir? Lopez, can you hear me? Okay, so on or about January 19th, 2023, were you at 415 Mall Court, otherwise known as the Home Goods Store?
Yes.
Okay. And that's in the city of Lansing, the county of Ingham, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at that time, did you enter the store and select items and put them in a shopping cart and then leave the store without paying for them?
Yes, sir.
Did you intentionally leave without paying for them?
Yes, sir.
So it was never your intention to pay for those items?
No, sir.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Brodowitz, any questions?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Lopez, you're not objecting to the amount of restitution and that it was $497 worth of merchandise?
The merchandise was never recovered. So how can I do that?
I'm sorry?
The merchandise was never recovered. So how can
It was, you said it was never recovered?
Yes, ma'am. It was never
That's
recovered,
what,
so
well,
how
that
can
would
I
be
pay
why you
my-
would owe it, because they didn't get it back. I'm asking you, are you objecting to the amount?
I'm not objecting. Right.
Okay, thank you. The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I will accept your plea, finding your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Let's see. You can make allocution, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Lopez is currently facing some felony matters that, quite frankly, are much more serious nature than what we're dealing with here today, Your Honor. We're asking the court to consider a sentence of time served for this matter, considering the fact that Mr. Lopez has accepted responsibility for it, participated in the process, is not objecting to the restitution amount, and wants to resolve this as quickly as possible.
What's Mr. Lopez bond on this file?
I show his bond as a $500 cash surety bond.
That was never posted?
Not that I'm aware of.
Mr. Bigelow, do you have the file?
It wasn't posted.
How long has he been in custody? What was the date of his arraignment, Ms. Nash?
Judge, he got booked into the jail August 20th, 2023.
And he was arraigned when?
He was arraigned on, looks like the 20th, August 20th.
Okay, thank you. Credit time served, restitution will be ordered payable to Home Goods at 412 Mall Courts at the amount of $497. When are you going to pay that, sir?
At the time right now, I'm incarcerated, facing some felonies, so I don't know when I can pay it until I get out. Because I can't make a payment here.
We'll refer to collections. We'll refer to collections. We will refer to collections and you'll make a payment plan, okay?
Okay.
You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see.
August 13th.
Okay, back on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Lindsay Buffington, file number 20-03-146. I have a plea sheet here. It says that the people are offering for Miss Buffington to plead guilty to count 1 and that they will dismiss count 2. Is that a complete and accurate understanding of the offer, Miss Buffington?
Yes.
Okay, you want to accept that?
Yes.
There's also no objection to sentencing under HYTA. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Ms. Buffington, you have the right in this matter to proceed to a trial. You have the right to jury trial. At the time of jury trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So that means you're innocent until proven guilty. And you have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you at trial beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, you have the right to see, hear, or question in court any of the witnesses that the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe would further defense to the charges being brought against you. You understand that?
Yes.
And you also have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used against you. Do you have any questions about your rights?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you're willing to give up each of those rights today in order to enter into a guilty plea to 1 count of assault and battery?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody threatening you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for a guilty plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your current employer?
Yes, ma'am.
It also could result in a conviction that you may need to put on a future job application, or it could have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As to count 1 of assault or assault and battery, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty to that count because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, factual basis, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Buffington, on or about September 24th, 2020, were you at or near 4111 Ingham in Lansing, Michigan?
Yes.
And that is in the county of Ingham as well, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you had a confrontation with
Count 1 is Anastasia Schultz.
Shelby Lucas.
Count 1 I have is Anastasia Schultz.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Slight confusion, Your Honor. She would be pleading guilty to count 2 in regards to Shelby Lucas, not count 1.
Okay, so the plea sheet needs to be changed, but that's completely fine.
Okay. Ms. Buffington, you had a confrontation with Shelby Lucas, correct?
Yes.
And during that confrontation, you struck Shelby Lewis in the head with a closed fist, correct?
Yes.
And that was not done in self-defense?
In a sense, it was.
Self-defense is a complete defense to the crime. So if it's in self-defense, then you are not guilty of the crime. So was it in self-defense?
No.
And so you didn't have permission to strike Shelby Lucas?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Buffington, tell me what happened to make you guilty.
So we were arguing and I had just hit her in her face.
Okay. She didn't hit you first?
No.
Okay, so why did you feel like, in a sense, you were in self-defense. You just misunderstood?
Well, because she was walking up, like when we were arguing, she was walking up towards me and I had warned her, like, if you don't if you don't back up, then I'm going to hit you.
Okay, but when she walked towards you, she didn't hit you or attempt to hit you?
No.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions based on that?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, thank you.
Thank you. The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea as to count 2. Count 1 will be dismissed. I find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. This matter will be set for sentencing.
November 13th at 8:30.
Okay, so your sentencing date is November 13th at 8:30. Prior to sentencing, you need to meet with our probation department. So you actually need to meet with them within the next 48 hours in person. You need to report to our probation department, which is on the 5th floor of City Hall, no later than Wednesday at 11 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and they'll get you all set up for your pre-sentence report interview, which you'll get that date after you meet with them. And then that way they can advise me as well as to whether or not you're eligible for sentencing under HYTA, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
So in the next 2 days, I have to go down to the courthouse on the 5th floor?
That is correct.
Okay, and then for November 13th, is it via Zoom again?
You can appear via Zoom for your sentencing, correct?
Okay, and it will be the same number that I have to log into?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
But you'll get a notice in the mail about your next court date for sentencing, and I'll have the same Zoom instructions on it, okay? Any other questions?
Okay. No, ma'am.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense.
You're all set. Thank you. Okay, are we ready with Mr. Knowles or Mr. Daffin?
I believe Mr. Knowles is unrepresented, so I would need to speak with him briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Daffin, I'm not sure if we need to go on the record or not, Your Honor. It took me, due to the fact that I am reoffering diversion in this matter, it took me a little bit to figure out exactly how that process is done through the prosecutor's office. However, I do believe now that I know how to proceed in that matter. And so I believe, Your Honor, that I will need to file a nollie in that case and then reissue it, referring Mr. Daffin back to diversion. So I'm not sure if we need to go on the record for that or not, but that is how I plan to proceed at this point on that matter, Your Honor.
Okay, who is his counsel?
That would be me, Your Honor, Jacob Rowe.
Okay, I don't foresee there being a reason why we need to go on the record for that. I think that could be noted in the body of the nollie. But that's up to you, Mr. Raleigh, if you want to put it on the record.
Mr. Daffin, are you all right doing it informally, just on paper, or do you want to go on the record?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry.
Are you okay with us just sort of going into the diversion process on paper and not going on the record?
Yes.
Okay, I guess we don't need to go on the record, Your Honor.
Okay, sounds good. You're all set for now, sir, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Let's see. Did we ever see Miss Sutter?
No, yeah.
Okay, so
She was here and then I'm sorry.
So she didn't return. So Mr. Doyle, you're free to go. We'll issue a bench warrant.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. I see Marshana Mervine, and then who's in the jail?
Oh, Stephen Richmond.
Okay, Mr. Richmond, that's Mr. Lee's client, or is it you, Mr. Raleigh?
I believe that is Mr. Lee's client, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see if he needs to speak with them. And who's representing Mr. Levine?
Lieutenant Hu, Your Honor.
Marshana Mervine.
John Lee.
I also believe we're ready to go on Giroux, Your Honor.
On whom? Oh,
Giroux.
Okay.
And I also believe.
She present? Is Giroux present in the court?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Marshana is a plea, so I'm gonna need whatever information is necessary for that if we're doing a plea. And then are we just setting Giroux for a final pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor, we're setting Giroux for a final pretrial. We'll actually be setting Mervine for a final pretrial as well.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll just get them final pretrial. Were there offers?
The offer, yes, there was.
Okay, I'll call the case then. I'll call the case. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Danielle Giroux, file number 23-01520, counsel appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee, appearing on behalf of Danielle Giroux. She is in the courtroom and standing to my right.
Okay, Ms. Giroux, were you the one that was driving while on Zoom? What made you think that was a good idea?
I did not think it was a good idea.
Okay, yeah, I specifically don't allow it because it's A, against the law to drive distracted. Think you're aware of that, or if you're not, you are now. And B, if you get into an accident because you're trying to conduct a court proceeding while you're operating a motor vehicle, we're all traumatized now. And we don't want that. So I would prefer you always to be safe. You should want to prefer yourself to be safe too. If you were just running late, you could have just let your attorney know, and then we would have just waited for you to get here, okay? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Today's the date and the time that was set for a pretrial on a domestic violence. Was there an offer on this?
Yes, there was, Your Honor. The offer was for Ms. Giroux to plead to an added count 2 of disorderly person jostling. And with that, the people would dismiss count 1.
Okay. And she wants to decline the offer at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll set it for a final pretrial and jury trial. The offer will remain open until the time of the final pretrial. Okay, Ms. Giroux?
Okay, thank you.
Final pretrial November 6th at 8 a.m. Jury trial November 13th at 8 a.m.
Okay, do you have any questions today, Ms. Giroux?
I do not.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Just one, Your Honor. The complaining victim in this matter, Mr. Timothy Giroux, is here in the courtroom, and he would like to address bond with the court, specifically the no contact order.
Mr. Giroux? What's your name again, sir?
My name is Timothy Giroux.
Okay, what is your concern?
I would just like to be able to have contact with her because we have 5 children, and like for her to be able to come back to the house and help me take care of the children.
Okay, well, we're not gonna allow her to go back to the house if we have a pending domestic violence. If we didn't need to have a contact order or no contact order in place, then we wouldn't need to move forward with the domestic violence. But as it relates to contact, for custody of the or care of the children, I'll allow a third-party contact for the purposes of arranging childcare. Any other contact or communication for childcare, you need to deal with that at the family court, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then you're obviously in communication with the prosecutor's office, and you all know how best to move forward in the interest of justice of the case. But as far as the court is concerned, and again, I don't know any facts about the underlying incident. All I know is that there's a domestic violence that's pending, and it's standard for the protection of the victim that we enter these things so that we don't have a situation where further harmful contact could potentially take place, or there could be any situations that escalate. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll amend the bond to allow third-party contact for the purpose of the children's care. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir. Thank you.
Six and 13, November 6 and November 13.
Okay, and you said we were needing to go on the record for Ms. Mervine as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mashana Mervine, file number 23-02520, council appearance.
Jeff Radowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Marshana Mervine.
Okay, and today was the date that was set for a plea on a domestic violence and a breaking and enter without owner's consent. And Mr. Lee, you're requesting this to be set for final pretrial, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was there an offer?
There was an offer on this case originally, Your Honor, and that was for Ms. Mervine to plea to count 2, which was the breaking and entering illegal entry without owner's permission, and the people would dismiss count 1. I believe we had this set for a plea today. However, it's my understanding that Ms. Mervine wants to withdraw that and set it for final pretrial.
Okay, we'll set it for final pretrial. We'll keep the plea offer open until that time.
Final pretrial November 6th at 8 a.m.
Okay, and jury trial.
November 13th at 8 a.m.
Okay. Did you get those dates, Ms. Mervine?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for the court?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Nothing for the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And who's representing Mr. Richmond? Are we ready on his matter?
Yes.
Your Honor, I need to speak with him briefly.
Okay, and then Mr. Brodowitz can go speak with Mr. Knowles at the same time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Zoom's long.
You have to wait just a second. Okay?
I want to go talk to the prosecutor because I wasn't told about any plea.
Prosecutor? No. You want to talk to your defense
I
attorney.
have to go speak to somebody else,
So
but
who's
I will
Hey,
speak
give
to
me
you in
just a
one
second to give you your bond.
Okay, sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I have another matter that. All right. Yep.
Wait. Are we ready to proceed? I couldn't hear anything.
What's up, you all?
Yes.
Yes, we are prepared.
Well, I'm
Sorry,
filling
Your
out
Honor.
the plea sheet.
Okay. It's a plea on both.
Well, it'll be which,
Sounds like a plea on Richmond, Judge.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we can do Knowles.
And then I'm ready to proceed on Knowles as well, Your Honor.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Keegan Thomas Knowles and file number 23-02339. Can I have your appearance, counsel?
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Okay, and then Mr. Knowles, you're proceeding without an attorney representing you today, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so today was the date and the time that was set for a pre-trial and a dog license vaccination. Counsel, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, Mr. Knowles has provided me with a copy of a valid dog license and vaccination record. And so people would be moving to dismiss this for compliance.
Okay, that case is dismissed. You're all set, Mr. Knowles.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have we seen Mustafa Al-Rubai?
Yes, he's currently out in the hallway talking with Mr. Raleigh, Your Honor.
With the
Okay,
interpreter.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
We're gonna set it for final preview. Okay. He's ready. We're ready.
I believe we're ready on Al-Rubai, Your Honor.
Okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Mustafa Al-Rubai. File number 23-02645, counsel appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Mr. Al Rubai.
Okay, we have an interpreter. Please state your name for the record.
Edward Eid, EID.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will interpret in the matter now before the court completely and accurately and not divulge confidential communications, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Today's the date and the time set for a pretrial. We actually need to hear the interpretation on the record. This is one count of domestic violence. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, the people have made two offers. And that's based on after consultation with the complaining victim in this matter. And those offers were to either plea to domestic violence with 7694A if eligible, or to plea to an amended count 2 of disorderly person jostling with a dismissal of count 1, Your Honor.
Mr. Raleigh, how does your client want to proceed?
This time, Your Honor, we'd be requesting that this matter be set for a final pretrial.
Okay, we'll set it for final pretrial and jury trial.
Final pretrial, November 6th at 8 a.m. And jury trial, November 20th at 8 a.m.
That's not the week of Thanksgiving, is it?
You're right. So November 27th at 8 a.m.
Okay, November 27th. Both of those are in person at the court.
Do
you have any questions today, sir?
No, I don't.
Can you repeat? I couldn't hear.
No, I don't have any question.
Okay, thank you. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Just one, Your Honor. I believe the complaining victim in this matter would like to address the court as to bond, specifically the no contact order.
Okay, can you have your victim state her name for the record?
Zainab Ahmed.
Okay. Oh, can you spell that, please?
Yeah, Z-A-I-N-A-B. And my last name is A-H-M-E-D.
Okay. What was your concern?
I was gonna ask you if you can please lift the no contact order.
Why?
Because I want my husband to be able to come home and be with his kids and me.
Okay. We can't lift a no contact order when there's a pending domestic violence case. Any other questions?
No.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set.
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, and are we ready, Mr. Richmond?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
Is that a plea?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, on the record, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Stephen Richmond in file number 23-02638 SM. Council appearance.
Jeff Brodowitz on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Mr. Stephen Richmond.
Okay, today's the date that was set for a plea. A pretrial. I have an offer. It's for the people are offering for the defendant to plead to count 2 or an added count 2 of trespass, and the people would dismiss count 1 in exchange for that plea to the added count 2. Is that complete and accurate?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then, Mr. Richmond, did you want to accept that offer today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I have you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Okay, and so I have again here count 1, breaking and entering illegal entry. The people are offering for you to plead guilty to an added count 2 of a reduced charge of trespassing. In order to do that, you would have to give up the following right. So you have the right to proceed to trial, and you have the right to a jury trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
At the time of trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at a trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand those rights so far?
Yes.
You have the right to see, hear, or question in court any other witnesses the prosecution intended to call against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. You understand those rights?
Yes.
You also have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. Are you willing to waive each of those rights today in order to enter a guilty plea to the added count 2 of trespass?
Yes.
Is anybody making any threats to you to get you to waive your rights and plead guilty?
No.
Has there been any promises made to you in exchange for a guilty plea? Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No.
Okay, are you being held on this case or something else?
I'm sitting on another case also,
Okay.
impaired driving.
Okay, sounds good. You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your employer or put a conviction on a future job application?
Yes.
Okay, also a conviction could have impact on travel or immigration status that you may be seeking. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
As to the charge of trespass, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes.
Can I have a factual basis, counsel?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Richmond, on or about August 23rd, 2023, were you at 500 East Thomas Street,
Yes.
also known as Otto School?
Yes.
Okay, and that's in the city of Lansing, the county of Ingham?
Yes.
And did you have permission to be on that property?
No, sir.
So you were in fact trespassing on the property?
I was trespassing, yes, sir.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Brodowitz?
Nothing from the people, Your Honor.
The court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea. Find your plea to be made freely, voluntarily, and intelligently. Okay, what was his bond in this matter?
I have PR bond.
I show a cash surety, $1,500.
Is that what we have on the system, Ms. Nash?
No, it's the PR bond, $300.
Okay. Okay, let's see. He was picked up on this and then arraigned the same date or the next day?
It was arraigned.
The next.
On August 24th. I don't know what day.
What day? He was booked August 24th.
He was arraigned on the 24th too.
He was arraigned the same day he was booked into the county jail.
Okay, I'll give you credit one day, and there's a fine of $75. When can you pay?
I do have warrants out of other counties right now because of misdemeanor warrant, so as soon as I get out, in a couple of days afterwards, I should be able to handle that.
Okay, we'll refer the $75 to collections and then you'll make payment when you're out of custody, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all we have for the morning.
Did we bench warrant Mr. Nadeau? He was the gentleman, I believe, coming on the bus.
Well, he was trying to get here on the bus. I'll wait and see if he makes it before 1:30. If not, I'll just reset him and require him to come in person. He did make an attempt. And that's all I have for the morning, I think.